Today I'm doing a deep dive into the 2024 governor elections. This time is on the state of Missouri and its governor's race, in a race that's actually very interesting and historically has shown Missouri's governor's races can be pretty close. In 2020, the Missouri's governor race was won by the Republican by 16.4% of the vote, a very big margin. In 2016, however, I believe there were some scandals involved with the candidate, and that candidate only won the governor's race by 5.6% by the Republican. In 2012, the Democratic incumbent governor was running for re-election, and he won the race by 12.2% on the same ballot where Mitt Romney won the state on the presidential level by a pretty sizable margin. So it's very, very interesting that at least in the last three elections, Missouri has elected a Democratic governor at the same time of electing a Republican president by a huge margin. And 2016 was only 5 to 6 percentage points away from doing that as well. So that's very interesting. Now, the current poll average we have for this governor's race, there haven't been a ton of polls, but there has been a few. And the polling average right now has the Republican candidate at 52% and the Democratic candidate at 36%. So it's looking more like this race will be more like a 2020 governor's race than a 2016 or 2012 one, but it's still interesting going over nonetheless because stranger things have happened on election night than a governor's race unexpectedly getting close out of nowhere. However, it is worth noting the Missouri governor race poll average does have the Republican up 16 points, so it is certainly looking like the Republican is very much favored to win this race, but still interesting nonetheless. And when we look at Missouri compared to the national vote, in 2020, Missouri voted 8.1% to the right of the national governor vote when all the votes were added up. In 2016, Missouri voted 3.5% more Republican than the national governor votes across the country. However, in 2012, Missouri voted 14 points to the Democratic side than the governors across the nation. When it comes to averaging out across these three elections, that actually leads to Democrats with the advantage of 2.4%. Missouri votes 2.4% on average of the last three elections in favor of the Democrats more than the Republicans, based on 2012 rapidly skewing that poll. That'll be very interesting to relook at in, say, 2022 or 2024 when the 2012 numbers no longer factored in. But for now, the Democrats actually are slightly favored based on the average of the last three elections when Missouri's vote is compared to the national average. Now, for some forecasts of this race, Real Clear Politics has Missouri's 24 governor's race as likely Republican. Sabato's Crystal Ball has it as safe Republican. Solid Republican for inside elections, safe Republican for elections daily, and Cook Political Report, solid Republican. Most of them saying this race is pretty much as safe and solid as it can be. Real Clear Politics leaving a little bit of room for potential competitiveness to watch for on election night. The two candidates are Republican Mike Kehoe and Crystal Quade for the Democrats. This is going to be a very, very interesting one. This is going to be a very interesting race because these are two candidates that are both technically new candidates. Neither one of them has been the governor before. So it'll be very interesting to watch and see how this goes. Four counties I picked off in the state of Missouri that I'm watching. First is Boone County, which voted for 20.8% in 2012 for the Democratic governor. In 2016, it voted for the Democrat by 13.6%, about a 7-point swing from 12 to 16, and then about a 5-point swing from 16 to 20. It seems to be trending at least a few percentage points to the Republicans each election. I'm interested to watch this one in 2024 and see if that happens again or if it rests upon that 8-point Democratic win. I'm very curious to see how Boone County does in 2024 for Missouri. Next is Clay County, a county that voted for the Democrat by 14 points in 2012, for the Republican by 1.3 in 2016, and then Republican 5.1 in 2020. I'm all about the margins in this county. Does this county stay red in 2024, and by how much? Is there a Democratic swing back towards that net zero number? That I'm very interested in watching. Platte County, kind of similar, 7.8% win for the Democrat in 2012, 3.6% win for the Republican in 2016, and then a 5.8% win for the Republican in 2020. Definitely both of these are more suburban counties. Both of them, I believe, are outside of Kansas City, so that's one I'm certainly watching for. And then one more, we have St. Genevieve County, where it voted 25.1% for the Democrat in 2012, 3.2% for the Republican in 2016, and 33.8% for the Republican in 2020. I mean, three massive swings across the last three elections I expect this county to go Republican, but I'm very fascinated to watch this one just for the pure fact that it has shown in the last 3 elections that massive jumps between them is certainly possible. So that's kind of a wild card county I'm keeping an eye on. In 2020, Mike Parson, the Republican, got elected governor. He won the state with 57.1% to the Democrats' 40.7%. Galloway. Platte was 51.8 to 46. Clay 51.4, 46.3. Boone County 53 to 44.6. And St. Genevieve 65.9 to 32.1. Looking at 2016, the election gets closer. Greitens versus Coaster. 51.1 for Greitens, the Republican. 45.6 for Coaster, the Democrat. Platte was 50.2 to 46.6. Clay 49 to 47.7. Boone 54.9, 41.3. And St. Genevieve, very close, 50.3, 47.1. Now 2012, a election where there's a lot more blue because the Democrat won the state. The Democrat Nixon got 54.7%. The Republican Spence got 42.6%. Platte County goes blue in this one, 52.4, 44.6. Clay County also goes blue, 55.5, 41.5. Boone County, 58.4, 37.6. And St. Genevieve, 61.3, 36.2. For the Democrat to win, you're going to see a county map like this where there's a lot more blue, not just in the big counties of Jackson and Boone and St. Louis, but you're going to see a lot of likely and lean blue counties throughout the rural and suburban areas throughout the state of Missouri. That's what a Democratic win would look like. I'm not sure we're going to see this in 2024, but if we do, it's very likely it'll look something like this. But again, I'm not totally counting on it. Now for the Republican vote. In the past 3 elections in Missouri, the Republican got 57.1%. 2016, they got 51.1%. And in 2012, they got 42.6%. Conducting a range analysis equation, I found a low end of 28.1% of the vote to a high end of 71.6% for the Republicans. And the average vote of the last 3 elections actually surprisingly very close, 50.3% of the vote. Now on the Democratic side, in 2020, the Democrat got 40.7% of the vote. 2016, the Democrat got 45.6% of the vote. And in 2012, the Democrat got 54.7% of the vote. Conducting a range analysis equation again, I found a low point for the Democrats of 26.7, a high of 68.7. This is one where both the Republican and the Democrats have very low ranges, but very high on the high end, very low on the low end. Technically, that means based on the last 3 elections alone, this is a very jump ball election where either the Republicans or the Democrats will win. The only knock is 2020, the most recent governor election, showed a pretty big win for the Republicans. So it's certainly trending in the Republicans' way. But statistically, just based off these 3 election results, it is certainly possible for the Republican or Democrat to win. Especially when you realize the average vote percentage across the last 3 elections is 47% for the Democrats. That's only a difference of 3.3% in favor of the Republicans based on the last 3 election vote percentage. But again, not every election is different. You can't just go purely off the past. You have to look at several other factors as well. Which is why on election night in the state of 2024, I project the Republican Mike Kehoe will get 56.5%. Democrat Crystal Quade will get 41.5%. That's a margin of victory of 15% of the vote. Kehoe will get the next 4 years as governor of Missouri, winning a somewhat surprising and maybe potentially competitive governor's race, but nonetheless winning it on the same ballot that Donald Trump will likely win Missouri by a similar margin, if not larger. Looking at the 2024 governor map, I have now done 5 governor states across the map. 1 for the Democrats, the state of Washington, 4 for the Republicans in Montana, North Dakota, Utah, and now the state of Missouri. Now, after this, we're going to be going to either the state of Indiana, West Virginia, North Carolina, Delaware, Vermont, and New Hampshire. That is all we have remaining. Stay tuned because I'll be doing these in the coming days as well. In the meantime, thank you for watching the deep dive of the 2024 Missouri governor's race. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least 1 video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.